Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing the recap of a very chaotic week. What was it even? Week 6? So yeah, congratulations to those of you that are bowl eligible. I believe it's Michigan, Georgia, Oklahoma. I'm trying to think who else. USC, Louisville, and I think that's it. There might be a few group of 5 teams that got there. I know Fresno almost did, but we'll talk about them later in the rankings. But for those of you that do the gamblings, we got a great thing going right now. We are currently 50 and 37, up 8.8 units. You know, if you're at bet $5 a game, that means you're up 40. What is that? 40.8, whatever it is. Let's just say 10. You're up $88. And if you just took my picks last week, week 6, 11 and 3, plus 9.7 units. We can quickly do that breakdown. I'll go over those games real quick, and then we can talk about the overall greater things, because there's a few things that need to be talked about. We first have Oklahoma State plus 11. They covered easily and won outright on Friday night. Illinois, Nebraska under. That game got messy. What did I say in those Big Ten West games? I don't care how low the total gets. You just got to take the under, because it is some of the ugliest football you will ever see. I mean, the drive chart alone on that second half game was disgusting. Our first loss of the weekend was the Ohio State over against Maryland. A lot happened in that game. Maryland was able to move the ball at will in the first half. Kyle McCord looked really shaky. Mr. Iceman, really untimely nickname for what he did in the first half, but then they just kind of realized, hey, let's just throw it to the generational talent of Marvin Harrison Jr. as much as we can, and they're fine. Ohio State's run game, not the greatest. Obviously, again, I'm a Michigan fan. I like to add that in because I'm trying to be as neutral as possible, but obviously I have an inherent bias against them, clearly. Chip Trayanum, 20 carries for 61 yards and a touchdown. 3 yards carry, not great, especially against Maryland, of all people. Very much known for their defensive prowess, Maryland. We then had Oklahoma plus 5, obviously won outright against Texas in a crazy instant classic game that was quickly interrupted by Biden talking about the Israel situation, but we don't do that on this channel. I mean, maybe it could down the line, but not right now. Looking at it, it was an all-time game. I mean, the Flying Hawaiian, as I helped nickname him on Twitter with Coach Boog and those guys out there. A lot of things went on in the group chats on the weekend on Twitter, but it was a great game, man. Oklahoma totally came back. Texas had the ball on the inch line and didn't score, I believe, that possession. A lot of things went wrong for Texas, but they only lost by 4. I think that's a positive there, but the problem is Oklahoma can run the table now. I did have the video where Oklahoma, I thought they could win the national championship. Obviously, it was a little bit of clickbaity, but I said I predicted them to win the Big 12. I figured they need to split against Texas. Now they got to sweep them in theory, right? If they're going to probably play Texas again. But Kansas is playing real well. Okay, they could go out there. Texas slips out one more time, they're in trouble, right? They already got a loss to the conference. Hey, who knows? But so now moving on quickly to the next pick here. Rutgers plus 13. This one was an absolute sweat fest that they finally covered right at the end, I believe, right? I mean, I have it as a win. I didn't even remember looking at the game. Yep, Maryland covered right at the end. They 24-13 in a pretty ugly game. I think they scored last. I don't even know. But, yeah, that's what we have in that one. A lot of points. And Rutgers is a solid football team. They are currently favored to beat Michigan State this weekend at, I believe, 5 points. I think I saw it at 3 on the apps, but I think someone said opened at 5, but it probably quickly went down. Then we've got the under in Wazoo, UCLA. I wasn't confident enough to take UCLA. I know I did on the podcast, but I did not have the stones to take them. Let me quickly look here. Yeah, 17-25. Very, very fun game there. Other than that, we had Alabama. This is our 3-unit play. This is the biggest play of the weekend. We ended up taking Alabama -1. I think it was when we ended up getting it at, but it really didn't matter because they kind of took care of business and handled what they needed to do. No problems there. And big win for Bama. They're kind of back in the scheme of things, as crazy as it is, and everyone's kind of counting them off, including myself. But they could very well find themselves down the line, really in a dogfight with some people, against Georgia potentially in the SEC championship game, and they're squarely back in the playoff discussion. Obviously, it hurts for them that the Texas loss now looks a lot worse, but lost early in the season out of conference, people tend to forget those. It's just kind of, unfortunately, how we operate in college football. Fortunately for them. Iowa -2.5 took care of business against Purdue. Got a little sloppy at the end of the game, but they did take care of business. I almost took the under. This one I think did go under, but yeah, 20-14. Eric Alls continuing to do really good things over at Iowa, and he'll be a good Iowa tight end, made by Michigan but fine-tuned by Iowa. So Vandy did not cover against Florida. That game got ugly. Florida, I'm really, really bullish on Florida right now against South Carolina. Granted, I've watched one game of South Carolina, and that was the Tennessee game where they ran it down their throats. And clearly, Florida's trying to do the exact same thing. So I'm inherently biased, but as they say, you don't bet against South Carolina at home in Cocktober. So, hey. And then Colorado over 49.5. Colorado did not hit the over, but they ended up winning. What was it, 51? Yeah, 51 points in that game, but 27-24 was the final score. As Shador would do, put up the watch to the camera. I don't have my watch on right now. Actually, I put it on this arm because I'm left-handed anyway, but you walk to a student section, hit him with one of these. So shout out Shador for that. It was pretty funny. We took Georgia. We kind of knew this was going to happen. Georgia went absolute beast mode and just totally dismantled Kentucky. What even was the final score? I turned it off at halftime because I put a different game on TV too. Georgia ended up winning 51-13. Carson Beck, 389 yards and 4 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 7 catches, 132 and a touchdown. And then Ray Davis, I think it is. Yeah, Ray Davis, the guy that had 200 and something yards last weekend, 59 yards in the ground. So, pretty good job there by Kentucky. By Georgia, I would say, containing Kentucky and flexing on offense. Carson Beck, man. Is he an upgrade on Stetson Bennett? Can't believe I just said that. That's terrifying. Notre Dame and Louisville. We took the under in this game. I did think Louisville was going to cover the spread here, and I believe I picked them on the podcast. We don't know if we tracked the podcast pick, but for my sake, we might have wanted to because I believe in the head-to-head picks. I was 3-0. I think so, but we can fact check that. I'm sure we'll fact check that live, but. Yeah, looking forward on this one. They play Notre Dame plays USC at night. USC had a crazy close game, but yeah, I don't really know what we're going to end up seeing there. Notre Dame, Louisville, just did that one, sorry. And then Arkansas, Ole Miss. Crazy game in this one. A lot happened. Ole Miss ran the ball for a billion times. KJ Jefferson was the better quarterback in this one. Jackson Dart, people tell me he's better than JJ McCarthy. I tend to vehemently disagree, but I'm also very biased. Very stunning performance from Jackson Dart, throwing 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 40 QBR. So it is what it is. But, he did rush for 12 attempts, 33 yards, 2.8 a carry. No, whatever. It's better than J.J. McCarthy because speaking of J.J. McCarthy, Michigan, 52-10. The rolling ball of chainsaws moves on. The championship tour moves on. Thank you for the Little Brown Jug. When you beat a team's ass, you just walk in there and you just spank them so hard. What was it, the second play? It was a pick 6. Listen, this Michigan team is for real. And when the opposing coach takes his entire post-game press conference and talks about this is the best team he's ever seen and coached against, I believe he did play against Ohio State a few times back at the time. He played against, I forgot even who it was in the Rose Bowl when he was at, not Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl when he was at Western. But he's played against a lot of really good Ohio State teams. And the fact that he's saying this Michigan team's best teams ever coached against, listen, man, I'm getting way too excited. I'm getting way too confident as well. Michigan ran for 5.8 yards a carry. JJ, 4 carries, 17 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cornelius had a pretty good game. First no touchdown game for Roman in a while. Big emergence of Khalil Mullings as running back 2 potentially. I know Donovan Edwards is obviously more of a catching out of the backfield guy. 4 carries, 20 yards. Something's off with him. For him, it sucks. For me, it's great because, maybe he comes back and gets another year, which works great for me. Donovan Edwards plus Khalil Mullings would really help, because with a lot of people leaving next year, it'd be really cool if he stayed around. Obviously, I hope he gets his NFL money and wish him nothing but the best in the future. But, when you're a Michigan guy first, I'd love to keep my guys on the team as long as possible. Unless you go to the Lions, then, maybe we'll make sure that's okay. But J.J. McCarthy, 14 of 20, 219 yards and a touchdown, 92 QBR. Backup Jack Tuttle, 2 for 2, 22 with 100 QBR. We've continued the trend of pulling the starters in the third quarter. J.J. has not played a snap in the fourth quarter still, and he's putting up very, very, very good numbers. Obviously not super elite for some of these other teams, though, but most important number for J.J., as he said in his post-game press conference, 6-0. Also pointed out in the post-game press conference, final score, Michigan defense 12, Minnesota 10, and Michigan without the defense 40. So something to think about. When your offense and defense outscores their entire team, good things are happening. We move on to Indiana next week. At home at noon. Nice not play a night game, or nice to get back to a noon game. I like watching the noon games and then relaxing, feet up, and watching everyone else and rooting for chaos. So that's what we got for now. Last little thing here before we do the rankings. I want you to close your eyes with me and imagine you've got a hypothetical parlay out there where the last leg is USC money line and Miami money line. Now, Miami, they just got a first down. The other team has no timeouts. The other team being Georgia Tech. You're up 3. You're in the red zone, basically. And there's 1:20 left, and you just get a first down with no timeouts. The opposing team has no timeouts. You run the ball. Why didn't you take a knee? You run it again, then you fumble. They get the fumble. Was he down? Yes. Did you deserve to retain the ball after being the most highest grade of functioning idiots on the planet to even, grace the game of football? No. You deserve to lose the ball. And then what happened? They throw the ball down the field 30 yards. Quick out. The next play. Mind you, there's 10 seconds left, no timeouts. You got the safety, Cam Kinchins. This kid's unbelievable. They do an all-out blitz. And the guy's butt naked open in the end zone. Granted, he almost slipped before the end zone. It would have been hysterical if he fell down with a second left and they had to go play one game for the thing. They end up scoring, of course. You had players on the sideline bawling their eyes out. Okay? You had Jeremiah, the 5-star receiver, in attendance you're begging to get. Miami fans, obviously, Generational Space by Gmo last night, but people are talking about how you can't be serious if you're saying to fire Mario Cristobal. I forgot his name. It's so bad. Yes, I'm serious. Listen, you don't come back from something like this, and I just got to move on, but that was the worst loss I've ever seen in my entire career. And I was at the game for App State, Michigan. Now we got the poll here, putting it right here, the top 25 poll, week 6. We've got West Virginia 25, 4-1, really moving up, helps Penn State out a little bit, but hey, I wanted to put Indiana there and just troll because I had 24 teams picked out and I didn't know who to put there. Air Force 24, undefeated. JMU 23, undefeated. Liberty 22, undefeated. Those guys all get my undefeated love. JMU's got a good roster. SMU has my fantasy quarterback. Air Force is killing people in the Mountain West. Respect the troops. We also got UCLA 21, Iowa 20, 19, Kansas 18, Tennessee 17, Wazoo 16, Utah, bunch of Pac-12 teams here, 15, Oregon State, 14, Ole Miss, 13, Louisville, 12, North Carolina, 11, USC, 10, Texas. Had a big drop down with the horns down. 9, a little move up here for Alabama. 8, Florida State, whatever. 7, Ohio State. 6, Oregon. 5, OU. Boomer, baby. I told you I'd move them up, man. They're in the playoff receiving votes clearly here, and I guess we can put the playoff here as well. We got Oregon 6, Oklahoma 5, and then the playoff top 4 stays the same. Penn State 4. Really getting shaky on them. I really wanted to move them down for Oklahoma. There might be major moves this week, just saying in advance. Obviously, with Washington and Oregon playing at Washington 2. Washington 3, Michigan 2, and Georgia 1. Listen, the gap between Michigan and Georgia and the rest of the country is ridiculous. Now, the gap can be closed big time if we've got an Oregon and, if Oregon and Washington, if one of them shows that they're the boss and takes care of business, then absolutely. But as of now, it's 1-2, and then it's going to be the winner of them at 3. This is just what I'm saying out loud what's going to happen. And then I maybe OU 4. I don't even know who OU has. Probably a bye. I don't know. If they're smart, they got a bye. But, I'm just, I can quickly look again at next week real quick, and we can talk about it for 10 seconds here at the end because this video is getting a little long. But, hey, listen, I had to put that big rant in there about Miami. But what we got here is I know Michigan's playing Indiana. Penn State, Ohio State is playing Purdue, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Syracuse, Arkansas, Alabama, good one. Then we got A&M, Tennessee, real good game. Might have to do an individual breakdown on that one, probably not. But Oregon, Washington, 7 versus 8, 6 versus 3 in my poll. And then USC, Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina real quick. Looked good. Tez Walker is back. Didn't do much, but didn't really need to. Drake May proving some of the haters like me wrong that are trying to say that JJ is QB2 in this class. But yeah, and then UCLA, Oregon State, 8 o'clock, Pac-12. No Pac-12 after dark, I don't think, of any major teams. But yeah, Auburn, LSU could get fun. Over under 63. That's nuts. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Please like and subscribe. And hey, we'll see you guys next time. I think we're at, let's see, I can do a live subscriber here if I can do it right and we can see what we're at. Because I'm recording this Sunday night before the Sunday night game. We've got... There you go. Boom. 996. 4 more until we reach it. Hopefully, maybe we have got more by the time this video comes up. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you tailed and had a great weekend. We did a lot of numbers here. I'll mention the stat again when we upload the next video. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Peace.